Now, well, balance sheet measures, especially market value, book value per share, is fairly common. The most common ratio, and it's really the most common ratio used in any way, shape, or form, is the PE ratio, the price earnings ratio. And again, the book is going to try to give you a different ratio, which perhaps is a more accurate ratio than the PE ratio. But I'll show you the new method using the book and also the mainstream method, which is the PE ratio. So this is the most commonly way of doing this, and the thinking is that dividends come from earnings, and so the key number that you want to look at is, of course, earnings, i.e. net income. So the more the earnings, the greater the value of the stock. Now, we already know from previous chapters that stock value is really a combination of earnings and asset value. So if you only look at earnings, you only look at asset value, then you're pretty much, it's like, walking around with one eye closed. You don't really seeing everything that's going on. So we want to look at the intrinsic value, and in this case it's going to be NOPAT times what they're calling here the NOPAT market multiple. Now, to be 100% honest with you, the only place I've ever seen NOPAT market multiple is in this book. However, it should be a better measure of valuation than the PE ratio based on the research that has been done. Nonetheless, everybody uses the PE ratio because that's the way it's always been done. So let's look at Dollar Tree for a moment. The company assumed value is $25,702. That comes from the stock market for Dollar Tree. And NOPAT is computed to be $673. So the NOPAT market multiple, that's a mouthful, is $38.19. Meaning that for every dollar of NOPAT, you have $38 of market valuation. Big Lots is much lower. It's $12.83. Meaning that every dollar of NOPAT for Big Lots, the market's willing to pay $12.83 for that. So you average those together, and I know this is like, I don't know, I can't, I buy the NOPAT valuation because is better than the PE ratio, but to me you're just ignoring so much information here that this is not going to be very useful. But let's go through the exercise because it really helps you when you look at a company's share of stock and you look at the PE ratio, it tells you a lot, and the NOPAT multiple is better. So we have here, we would want a NOPAT market multiple for Dollar General of $25.51. And they have 1,222 in NOPAT. So that means that the whole company should be worth $31,173. We subtract the NNO and we get intrinsic value of $28,360. And therefore, intrinsic value per share is $98.92. And again, the reason why you're subtracting, I'm not sure I mentioned this before, the reason why you're going to subtract NNO is because NOPAT gives you valuation of the entire company. But there's still some debt there. So when you buy the stock, the debt is still there. So what you have to do is you have to take the entire the value of the whole company based on NOPAT and subtract the debt first. It's just a little theoretical kind of thing, but it makes a big difference. So that would give you intrinsic value per share of $98.92. Now, this is how it's done. And this is how everybody does it. It's the PE ratio. And they call it here the NI market multiple. And it's total stock market value divided by net income. What you could also do is, total stock market, it's total stock market value divided by net income. The other way to do it is, and it's not shown here, but I'll write it out for you. I don't know why I can't seem to. The easy way to measure this is stock price divided by earnings per share. This is really how it's done. And I'm not quite sure why they cover this up in the book and they're not more explicit about it. But this is an easier way to measure. You just look at the stock price, divide by earnings per share, and you get the PE ratio. And it's just a good thumbnail measure of where a stock is and even where stocks are in general. And it's actually a better measure of understanding a stock price than looking at the stock price itself. So you would always want to look at a PE ratio along with the stock price. And here you can see that a dollar of earnings for Dollar Tree comes out to $67.76. For Big Lot, it's $13.31. By the way, this should give you the exact same answer as what they're doing for the NI market multiple. Just out of the box, that's reality. NI market multiple, again, is the PE ratio. So I get a PE ratio of dollar value of 67, Big Lots 13.31, of Dollar Tree rather is 67, Big Lots is 13.31. Dollar General therefore should be $40.54 on average. Again, this is not a, I mean, this is how you do it, but you're ignoring so much information in here that you have to understand that when you're going through it. So that would mean mean that intrinsic value of equity is $47,229 in total, or per share is $164.73. And since the stock is trading at, what is it trading at? It was something like $65, right? $75. And you figure out that it should be $164.73, that means that you should buy it. So you can see the big flaw here, and that is that if you look only at balance sheet or you look only at income statement and you don't look at them together in what academics call a multivariate way, then you're going to get conflicting signals. And the model that we've been going over in this class, especially in Module 14, really covers this in a much more comprehensive way. But the PE ratio is the most commonly used ratio, and if you're looking at stocks, it should always be part of what you look at.